And the Saskatchewan Roughriders also come in angry here tonight. They have not won in Calgary since August 1st, 2009. Chris Jones was on the sideline that game, but he was a defensive coordinator for the Stampeders. Lots of subtext, lots of subplot. The rivals at it again. Rivalry reignited. Tyler Krapina will kick this off. And away we go. The first of 3 meetings tonight between the Stamps and the Roughriders. And Mark and Michel back in the lineup up near the 25-yard line. And Bo Levi Mitchell comes in with some business as well tonight after 19 straight undefeated games, looking to start another streak.
Yeah, rare situation in his career for Mitchell. Obviously a guy who has the best winning percentage, career winning percentage of any quarterback in Canadian Football League history at this stage of his career.
Look at this, already a flag on a play that didn't even start.
Yeah, 13 in the huddle.
Too many men in the huddle. Calgary, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Dave Foxcroft, our referee tonight. Dave Dickinson says they have to do some cleaning up, some inefficiencies that he felt they had in Montreal, and that's not a good start tonight as they will line up now from their 16-yard line.
Well, obviously a lack of communication there out of the gate in terms of what personnel package they were supposed to have. Looked like they were trying to go to a big team with a couple extra fullbacks in the ball game to start.
See if they establish Jerome Messam in this game early on. Bo Levi Mitchell can't find anybody and then goes over the top. The leading receiver for the Stampeders, Kamar Jordan, hauls it in.
Well, Kamar Jordan, certainly a man to watch. Perhaps overshadowed in the past, particularly last year, by the great second half of Tavares Daniels, but he's been terrific since the final third last season. The offensive line welcomes back Shane Bergman at his familiar left guard position.
12 yards on that play. It's 2nd and 8. 4-man rush. Mitchell steps up and goes heaving and into traffic, was looking for Jordan, who can't make the play. So a penalty flag and a quick 2-and-out for the Calgary Stampeders, who have been slow starters in 2017 in the first quarters.
Keep an eye on Jordan here. He lines up as number 2 in that trips formation to the wide side. He's working the corner route with the help of the corner, Javon Johnson, dropping off. The window gets real tight.
Rob Mavers getting ready to launch this ball. And again, another whistle here. And it looks like maybe a challenge flag from Dave Dickinson. If it is, this is an early challenge.
Calgary is challenging that there is defensive pass interference on their receiver number 86. We'll review the play.
Dickinson is 3 for 5 on challenges after 4 games.
So Anthony Parker actually lines up at number 3, one slot inside of Kamar Jordan here. We'll see if this contact occurs after 5 yards.
And then Bo, of course, throwing downfield to Kamar Jordan. So see how command takes a look at this. Again, you have a 5-yard buffer zone where contact can be made. After that, nothing. Command has it. They're looking at this. And again, a very early challenge for Dickinson. If he loses this challenge, again, we'll lose a timeout.
Line of scrimmage on the play, I believe it was the Calgary 28-yard line.
And we have a decision.
After review, we have illegal contact, Saskatchewan, number 37. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down, Calgary.
Sam Williams, the Sam linebacker, is the guilty party, so a good challenge for Dave Dickinson out of the chute here. Instead of a 2-and-out, the drive will continue.
And that, if nothing else, helps in terms of field position, just getting a little further from your own goalpost here.
They'll go 1st and 10 now from the 38-yard line. Double tight end coverage here. Messam in the backfield. His first touch. Jerome Messam high steps and bashes through. Eric Dargan got a piece of him, but almost 10 yards for Jerome Messam's looking to up that average.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Willie Jefferson here tonight. He's the key to their pass rush. This is a group that doesn't often bring more than 4. They're going to need a lot out of him. We've already seen Sam Williams, the rookie, playing at that nickel or Sam linebacker spot. And Cresden Butler makes his first start at corner in place of an injured Casey Rogers, former NFLer with 46 career games to his credit south of the border.
Messam gets it again on 1st and 10. Jerome Messam is fined this week an undisclosed amount, and this was costly last week in Montreal. And the scoop and score here in the end zone ripped off the helmet of Chip Cox and was tossed from the ball game.
Yeah, frustration obviously getting the best of Jerome Messam after it was his fumble that was recovered and returned for a touchdown by the Owls.
They certainly could have used him at 2nd and 9, throwing down for Bo. Mitchell now from the pocket. His left side, he tosses it downfield. Marquay McDaniel. They're saying he made that catch.
That was somewhat Burnham-esque.
The year of the circus catch in the Canadian Football League. Marquay McDaniel adds to the growing highlight reel.
Well, you'll see Bo Mitchell directing traffic here and throwing across his body.
And did he make the catch, though? Stampeders are lining up really quickly. Hard to see.
He did well to stay with it, but it looks at the end there to me as if he trapped it between his forearms as he rolled over. Stayed with it very well, but if you watch right here, that looks like a trap to me.
Saskatchewan is challenging that the pass was incomplete on the play. We'll review the play.
So out of the gate, a couple of challenges. Chris Jones tossing that yellow flag. We'll get a decision on this one. Circus grab in Calgary tonight.
After review, the command center has determined that the pass was incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 9 for Calgary.
And now it's the battle of the flags because Dave Dickinson has thrown another challenge. And
yeah, this was the obvious move in the chess match.
This is a challenge flag chess match tonight here in Calgary.
Yeah, I mean, as the ball was in the air, I was expecting to see a flag for pass interference on this one.
Calgary is challenging that there was defensive pass interference on the previous play. We'll review the play.
Already 3 challenges in this game.
So you're going to get Marquay McDaniel. He starts from the 3 slot automatically. Man coverage, the nickel linebacker Sam Williams slides out on him. Now McDaniel gets an advantage because of the scramble, the broken play, and watch contact there. Again, a few yards before the ball arrives, you'll see he turns, trying to locate the ball and receiver at the same time, and runs through Marquay McDaniel. But I think this one's going to end up going against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Rather challenging start to this ball game tonight. And even though McDaniel doesn't get credit for that catch after the challenge, they still may get that yardage on an interference call.
Yeah, I think you're going to see the unique situation of both teams successfully challenging the same play.
Yeah, he's all over them there. That's blanket plus coverage.
Yeah, and again, you can make the argument that happening at full speed, that's going to be a little closer than it looks in slow motion in terms of the timing. But I think this would be a legit PI call.
Again, command has a verdict. You have to think that it would favor the Calgary Stampeders. There's Sam Williams, one of the new linebacking members
After review,
this year.
We have defensive pass interference, Saskatchewan, number 37. It will be first down Calgary on the 35-yard line.
So after all that, we've got this. Back to the 35-yard line, and the Stampeders' drive continues. Daniel doesn't make the grab, but is interfered with. We may set a record for challenge flags here tonight. All successful challenges. Jerome Messam again, a cutback now. Barges close to the 30-yard line. Messam, who last year averaged 5.8 yards a carry, and another terrific season, named most outstanding Canadian again, only averaging 3.9 yards a carry this year. Second down and 7. Riders jump there. Penalty flag down. Over to Jordan on the far side for the first down, but Willie Jefferson had jumped. He was way offside. So a free play for Bo Levi Mitchell, and they capitalize.
Nice protection on the front side there.
Saskatchewan, number 7. The penalties declined. First down Calgary.
Willie Jefferson, who played with Chris Jones in Edmonton, that 2015 Grey Cup championship, spent time in the NFL and is back in the CFL now with Jones again and the Riders. Fresh set of downs just outside the red zone. 33 once more. He is such a load. Enoch Mwamba got him by the ankles that time. We'll watch the two M's battle tonight. Middle linebacker Mwamba and the big burly back Jerome Messam.
Well, it's going to be important in this ball game for the Calgary Stampeders to get Jerome Messam going early on and getting their blockers to second level, getting to Enoch Mwamba.
Now to the red zone. It's 5 for 14 this season. Tavares Daniels. Javon Johnson, longtime CFLer, 33-year-old, who is back in Saskatchewan where it all began for him. So the drive will end there, and another unsuccessful trip from the red zone to the end zone for the Calgary Stampeders, but Rene Paredes comes out to put them on the board first. Near the 24-yard line for the Venezuelan-born kicker. Paredes puts it up and puts it through, and the Stamps strike first on sporadic opening drive full of penalties and challenges. When we come back, Kevin Glenn has his eye on a milestone tonight. Most importantly, has his eye on a W tonight. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Splendid Saturday, Bow River, inside McMahon Stadium, all through the province of Alberta. Thousands of fans in red, the Stampeder fans, and thousands wearing green made the trip from Saskatchewan. Kevin Glenn. The series for him now. Glenn smothered and is in trouble. And down he goes. James Vaughters gets to Kevin Glenn.
Here you see James Vaughters, number 98, most recent guy to get an opportunity to play opposite Charleston Hughes. Riders did a nice job picking up the stunt, the twist from the Calgary defensive front. We'll label this one a little bit of a coverage sack. D-line got a good push, got in Kevin Glenn's face a little bit. Vaughters just kept the motor running.
11-yard loss, now a little dump pass. Michael Johnson rips down Cameron Marshall. Two significant losses. A very quick 2 and out, and Saskatchewan has to punt.
Well, great start for the Calgary D, and most specifically for their D-line. Vaughters with the sack, Micah Johnson with an outstanding job getting with a 3-man rush for Calgary. It wasn't that he got upfield, but the fact that he recognized the screen being set up. Did a great job working his way to the intended receiver, Marshall.
So now the dilemma, Riders have to boot it away. Josh Bartell to Roy Finch, who gives Calgary instant field position, mostly because of these guys. Couple of losses. Stamps are rolling right now. No hype required in the love that has never been lost between these two teams.
You go back to last year, there was the infamous win with some class comment from Chris Jones to Dave Dickinson.
This was tonight before the game. Josh Bell and Deron Carter.
Yeah, they were beaking at each other from half a field away and just kind of beelined towards each other. I think the last straw for Bell was when Carter stepped on to the Calgary side of center field.
Green blood meets red blood meets bad blood here tonight in Calgary. 3-0 Stamps midway through the first quarter. Mitchell has his man, and Marquay McDaniel can walk to the end zone. Touchdown. Bust that time. McDaniel was wide open.
Now, I'll tell you what, Rod, this is the impact of getting Jerome Messam involved early and having success with the ground game. They absolutely froze the defense on the play-action fake to the big running back. Here you're going to see you've got 7 guys in the box and the free safety at the bottom of the picture. And watch, they completely get caught in space, watching to see what Messam's going to do as that run fake occurs.
Rene Paredes puts the point after through. And Bo Levi Mitchell, his 100th career touchdown pass will go in the record books to Marquay McDaniel.
Marquay McDaniel, this time it's trips, 3-receiver formation into the boundary. The fact is they never adjusted from the get-go. As you see a wide open McDaniel streaking down the field. They only had 2 defenders, 2 cover guys on the weak side of the field against 3 defenders. McDaniel was open right from the line of scrimmage regardless of everybody biting on the run fake.
How about the great souvenir from Marquay McDaniel for that youngster. McDaniel's first touchdown of 2017 and the 100th touchdown pass from Bo Levi Mitchell, who only 27 has done it in record-setting fashion.
Well, it's been quite the combination. Obviously the right quarterback combined with the right team at the right time for the Calgary Stampeders.
Riders now. Greg Morris bringing it up close to the 40-yard line. It's going to be marked at the 38. The kick returner for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, after that good return, Saskatchewan is going to have to try to respond.
Here you see the work by William Longley on special teams. Backup fullback for the Stampeders. Sherbrooke Verteon.
5th special team tackle of the young season for Longley. Kevin Glenn Trying to get some positive yardage this time to Cameron Marshall, the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Featured tailback in the Kevin Glenn offense.
And here you see former Stampeder Bakari Grant becoming an increasingly important part of the Riders' passing attack. On that offensive line, as we mentioned Derek Dennis earlier, former Stampeder, the league's reigning most outstanding offensive lineman at left tackle.
2nd down and 6 for Glenn. Rushing 4, batted down. Glenn looks for the football, and right now, Stampeders defense in beast mode. Coming at Kevin Glenn, full horses.
Yeah, and we've talked about Charleston Hughes, 35 sacks for him since 2014. Back in the lineup after missing the last couple. Alex Singleton came into this week tied with Solomon Elamimian as the leading tackler in the Canadian Football League. With the size at wide receiver, particularly Deron Carter, who can line up out wide, Tommy Campbell's presence, the boundary corner position, will be key for Calgary.
Riders with that unique configuration getting to the line. Bartel. Hunter from down under, and Roy Finch makes one miss on the spin, and another very strong starting point for the Calgary Stampeders. There's a flag on the play. We'll get to it when we come back to McMahon Stadium. Bo Levi Mitchell, century mark for touchdown passes and counting. A quick 10-zip lead on this Saturday night in Cowtown. There he is, Bo Levi Mitchell, who's done so much in such a short time here in Calgary. Joins an impressive list, Calgary Stampeder quarterbacks from the past.
Well, sure, when you look at these guys, not just Grey Cup champions, but Hall of Fame type players all the way down the line.
Doug Flutie on that list, of course, a great Stamp, and Lyon and Argo. He'll be honored Monday. Argos take on the Ottawa Red Blacks Monday Night Football. We'll have it on TSN at BMO Field. Right now, the Stampeders taking it to the Roughriders early on. Jerome Messam bucket down, and minimal gain, a couple of yards for Messam.
And I talked earlier about the importance of the Stampeders getting things done at the line of scrimmage in terms of their ground game. Coming into this game, of course, you know, I went to my man Derek Taylor in the details, who tells me Jerome Messam has been hit behind the line of scrimmage on running plays 13 times in his first 48 carries, almost twice as much as any other back in the league.
4-man rush. Ball is loose. Messam picks it up as the Riders get a hand on Bo Levi Mitchell as he was getting ready to launch. Toby Antiga, newcomer to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a former wide receiver in college.
Well, that's kind of the theme of the Roughriders defensive end rotation, of course. Antiga, Willie Jefferson, and A.C. Leonard all at some point into their college careers lined up as receivers before becoming defensive linemen.
Rob Maver. Nick Dempsey. Dembski near the 40-yard line is brought down there. Tunde Adeleke drops Nick Dembski. Well, close practices this week for both the Calgary Stampeders and Chris Jones Saskatchewan Roughriders. With more on that, let's go to the sideline and join Jermaine Franklin.
Yeah, that's right, Rod. You know what? It's always interesting when the Riders come to town. The Stampeders were on high alert. They were heavily securing the perimeter of McMahon Stadium just in case anybody wanted to steal any of their plays. Now, it was the same thing in Ryderville. In Regina, they did the same thing, securing their stadium, making sure there was no spies. I asked both coaches if they believe spying goes on, and Chris Jones totally believes that. So does Dave Dickinson, but both denied ever taking part in it. And when it comes to spying, Jones believes he's already been the victim of football espionage this year.
Well, very interesting. Subterfuge and secrecy in the CFL. Are you buying the spying?
I am buying the spying from the perspective that I often think that there's a little bit of a mentality in football at this level that if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Cameron Marshall, the first down for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. To that incomplete pass to Antoine Grant. Cameron Marshall with a 24-yard rumble, and tonight Kevin Glenn 116 yards from joining the 50,000-yard passing club. This will help.
It sure will. Nice quick hitter, free release for the running back. He had no blocking responsibilities there. Kevin Glenn knows those guys are coming free. He's just going to dump it basically into the space vacated by the linebackers. As you saw, plenty of open room in front of Cameron Marshall.
Grant and Glenn steps up and is brought down. Charleston Hughes, career sack number 90 as he returns to the lineup for the Calgary Stampeders, his second of the season.
Charleston Hughes, the stand-up position at defensive end. The spin move. He draws first blood, I suppose, against his former teammate. His trash talk partner this week, Derek Dennis.
Former teammate as well, and Kevin Glenn. Spin around, far side, Damon Roosevelt. Deontay Evans got to him first, well short of the first down. They'll get it to the 43-yard line, so the kick team comes out again. And will it be Tyler Crapigna, the field goal kicker? No, it will be Josh Bartell. So they're going to play for field position here with 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, kicking into the wind here.
And the wind's blowing tonight, Dwayne. Bartell looking for that corner. Line drive shot. Pretty good kick. A minute 43 to go in this opening quarter in a 10-0 game. Week 5 of the CFL on TSN concludes Monday. Showdown between the Red Blacks and the Argonauts. Action gets underway from BMO Field at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific across the TSN network and in 4K. And Doug Flutie bobblehead night. We'll be honoring him. It should be a great Battle of Ontario that night, Monday night.
Big reunion night. The 96 and 97 Grey Cup teams are in town.
It is reunion time in so many cities for honoring Grey Cup champions. 12-yard line for Bo Levi Mitchell and Jerome Messam. Bulldozes up to the 18. Sam Williams was there again. Piece of him, and then he was brought down.
A positive start for Jerome Messam in this Calgary Stampeders ground game. Everybody getting involved in that blocking scheme, offensive line, receivers, all aggressively getting after it at the line of scrimmage.
Messam, who wore the green and white in Saskatchewan, also played in Montreal, Edmonton, and BC. Really found a home here in Calgary. We'll get it back to him. Pounding the ground with Jerome Messam and a first down. 7 yards this time.
Well, touched in the backfield here, but Jerome Messam at 250+ pounds isn't going to be stopped by arm tackles. With a bowl in a china shop.
35 yards so far in this first quarter for Messam. Lines up in that pistol formation again. Clock ticking down here. Might be the final play of the opening frame. There he is, Jerome Messam. Left, Jerome Messam right, and Jerome Messam up the middle so far. Makes it a lot easier on second down when you've only got 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 3 thanks to your running game.
Yeah, Jerome Messam listed at 6'3", 254 pounds. From past experience, I suspect that Jerome may be playing even a little heavier than that, and regardless, at that size, just tackling him is going to take its toll on a defense.
They'll give it to him once more. There he goes. Three once more, another first down, and so Jerome Messam established on the ground in this opening quarter. Marquay McDaniel also scoring. Started early, the angst in the air here. 10-0 Stampeders looking to drive that ball as we get ready for quarter 2 in Calgary tonight.
TSN CFL Fantasy wants to put you in the GM seat. All season long, you can set your roster and go head-to-head with CFL fans and the CFL on TSN panel.
This is no easy task.
Sign up at cflfantasy.tsn.ca to win great weekly prizes, including the grand prize, a trip to Ottawa to watch the 105th Grey Cup presented by Shaw.
Touchdown!
TSN CFL Fantasy. Set your roster today.
Hey Canada, it's nice to meet you. We're Mary Brown's famous chicken and taters, started in Newfoundland almost 50 years ago. Today the secret's out, and we're coast to coast across Canada. Yep, that's our food you're drooling over. Made fresh from scratch in store. No fillers, never pre-formed or pre-breaded. Handcrafted, not machine-made. Real food from genuine people. As original as the island where it all began. Mary Brown's, honest to goodness.
It's a beautiful night for football.
They're on fire! This is the way it's supposed to be.
The fans have been waiting a decade for this.
The Alouettes are rolling right now.
Did you see that?
Where would you rather be than watching some CFL football? Complete domination really from the Calgary Stampeders in that first quarter. Started in that opening drive that looked to be stopped after a 2-and-out. And the flag started flying, the challenge and the penalty. Next thing you know, they score and have a 10-0 lead. And you can see their rushing yards. And clearly, getting Jerome Messam involved has been the MO this week.
Yeah, it certainly has. Jerome Messam is critical to the Calgary Stampeders' success. People talk all the time about Bo Levi Mitchell in the passing game, but so many opportunities for them are created in the passing game because people have to respect the threat that this guy provides on the ground.
Messam went to the sideline after that last play of the first quarter. Looks like he's okay. Gonna get a quick blow over there and likely see him out there once more, but without Messam. Stamps line up to begin this second quarter here. Calgary has won 8 straight against Saskatchewan. 9 straight here at McMahon Stadium. Trying to keep the streak going. Roy Finch gets the ball, a touch from the backfield, and he's upended on the far side. 4 yards for the returner, the slot back / tailback. He is that typical, prototypical scat back.
Yeah, and there you get a glimpse of the change of pace that Roy Finch offers as immediately they go to a perimeter run with him, where obviously, given the size difference, the style difference, Messam is more of a between the tackles guy, whereas Finch, you want to get him the ball in space, as his kick return skills suggest.
Finch stays out. 2nd and 6, throwing down for Mitchell. Blitz now from the Riders, but there goes the ball, and look who's got it once more. He's still not touched. Marquay McDaniel has to leap over the signage. What a terrific catch again from Marquay McDaniel. Little juggling act behind cover, and Jeff Hecht had to make a play to get him out of bounds.
Well, Marquay McDaniel, again, he's lined up at number 3. They've moved the nickel linebacker, Sam Williams, over to that side, and he's had his hands full with Marquay McDaniel. You've heard us talk in games earlier this season about how tough it is to play that nickel linebacker spot as a first-year CFLer. Sam Williams is feeling it right now.
And this one's picked off. Speaking of Sam Williams, doing a little dancing. That ball touched 2 bodies before it got into the midst of Sam Williams, who has his first CFL interception. The Riders force the turnover.
There you see Sam Williams. No sooner did we say he's having a tough time as he comes up with the biggest play thus far for the Saskatchewan Roughriders defense. Anthony Parker's on the crossing route. Ball is thrown a little bit behind him, unable to squeeze it on the deflection. Enoch Mwamba gets a piece of it. He's unable to grab it, but Sam Williams pulls it in for a big turnover for the Riders.
Riders look to turn this into some momentum now. Marshall goes nowhere, maybe a yard. Sam Williams, by the way, hails from a Division III school in Marshall, Texas, East Texas Baptist. And we'll always remember his first CFL interception comes here in Calgary tonight.
And the timing couldn't be better for Sam Williams, breaking up momentum that was really starting to get rolling for the Calgary Stampeders.
Kevin Glenn's been feeling some heat, though. Here comes the pressure again. Goes over the top, and Marshall, Cameron Marshall, powers his way up near the 50-yard line. Former star from Arizona State.
You've got to love the yards after contact for Cameron Marshall here. Kevin Glenn does a nice job, as he has throughout his career, standing and waiting for that one to come open. You see Cameron Marshall run through a couple of tackles before eventually being tracked down by middle linebacker Alex Singleton.
When last we saw him was 2015 in Winnipeg. Recorded 7 touchdowns for the Bombers that year. Spent time in the NFL last year. Glenn is going down and is hit hard. 38-year-old slow to get up as Charleston Hughes had him in his crosshairs. Glenn taking count of every body part here.
And you know that Calgary's always going to move Charleston Hughes around, put him in different alignments, this time basically lined up as a linebacker. He's just hanging back, spying on the play, not rushing, as Kevin Glenn looks to step up. Hughes is there to meet him.
Second sack for Hughes tonight, third for the Stamps. Relentless pressure right now. Look out! Hughes misses, and then Glenn throws it away. Otherwise, Charleston Hughes had the hat trick. Incomplete pass. And Charleston Hughes, you think he's been chomping at the bit here to try to get back in the lineup over the last couple of weeks, recovering from that knee issue?
Well, we talked about how he's going to move around. This time he's back to his defensive end spot. And again, gets Derek Dennis with that spin move. Back to the inside.
So the Riders cannot turn the turnover into points here. Josh Bartell now with the wind into the shadows. Roy Finch gathers it, and he's dropped near the 27-yard line. Charleston Hughes, pair of sacks already. Missed the last couple of weeks, and was he missed? Join us at the half tonight. GMC Professional Grade Playbook. Henry Burris, future Hall of Famer, of course, and the Stampeders' all-time leading touchdown pass leader, on why returns go for TDs. That's coming up at the half with the boys in the studio. Much to talk about. Calgary Stampeders owning a 10-0 lead so far. Despite that interception, no harm done. Now Messam accelerates outside, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to bring him down.
Jerome Messam looking to demonstrate his versatility, deceptive speed for such a big dude. Great bounce to the outside. See Mike Edom kind of overran it, respecting the speed of Messam, making sure he got that outside leverage. Messam stopped on a dime to turn north-south.
8-yard gain, almost 60 yards already for Messam. Here he is again, this time going nowhere.
Yeah, big win then there for the Riders' defensive line.
Shakes his head this time. AC Leonard, one of those receivers turned D lineman.
Yeah, AC Leonard actually played as a receiver in the Canadian Football League a couple of years ago for the BC Lions. Sort of a tight end sort in their offense.
Rob Maver into the breeze now. Riders might get good field position here. Almost had it blocked. This angles and has some backspin. Nick Dembski will induce a no yards call. They'll add 5 to that. So the defense for the Stampeders doing a number so far here tonight, including, of course, number 39. With more on Charleston's return, let's go down to Jermaine.
Thanks, Rod. You know, Charleston Hughes and Derek Dennis know each other very well from practicing against each other all last season when Derek Dennis was a member of the Stampeders. Now, Hughes was in a radio interview and he said that he wasn't going to talk any trash this week, which shocked Dennis. So Derek Dennis tweeted Hughes and said, "Why would you be so unusually quiet?" Charleston Hughes just tweeted back saying, "I'll talk after I get my second sack this season." I'm assuming Charleston Hughes is doing a lot of talking, and it's a veteran move from one of the best veterans playing mind games with his younger friend.
Yes, indeed, and he is talking on cue, as a matter of fact, as Cameron Marshall gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. There's Derek Dennis, last year's most outstanding lineman in the CFL, wearing Calgary Stampeder colors.
And of course, Derek Dennis with the trademark hair matching the uniform, going from red to green. His dye job underneath that helmet this year.
Great matchup here watching Dennis and Hughes. There they are together. Passing down for Glenn. Stamps rush 3. Glenn, though, is down again. Vaughters again. Kevin Glenn just looked like he skidded to a stop. Very peculiar, and Vaughters was right there for an easy sack. So a pair for Vaughters and a pair for Charleston Hughes.
And, you know, this to me looks like a situation where the offensive line didn't understand what Kevin Glenn's launch point was going to be. You know, and it again shows the challenge of playing offensive line. We've talked about it before. The only position really in sports where you play with your back to the play.
Bartel, Finch, sandwiched hard. Mike Edom was down there, lower the boom. Vaughters and Hughes swing a number 4 sacks tonight. Kevin Glenn under siege in the city he used to play in.
Is caught.
I told you how many times to step rolling to the other team. Hey, how you put Netflix on? Put Netflix on.
From mic'd up players to behind the scenes, Netflix, TSN Go, CTV, TSN, whatever it may be. Catch it Tuesday on TSN, 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, across the TSN network. CFL Wired. Play doesn't get started. There's a flag that just flew over near the 32-yard line on the far side of the field.
Willie Jefferson stepped across
Offside,
for the Riders, but
Saskatchewan, number 7. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Mark Jordan also was well into his route for the Stampeders.
So 1st and 5 now for Mitchell here, midway through the second quarter. They'll hand it off to Jerome Messam again. Thunders up near the 50-yard line. Well, Jerome Messam didn't get a chance to play a whole game last week. Making up for it this week so far.
He sure is. A well-timed draw play for the Stampeders here. You see the Green Riders rush getting upfield as Messam heads the other way.
69 yards already for Messam. They'll give him the rock once more. And quite obviously, the message is being sent from the Stampeders to Messam and from Bo Levi Mitchell.
You give him enough touches, that's when you start to see guys start to go at his ankles, start, what we call eating turf. Basically just scared to tackle him. And that's when he starts making some big plays. But if you only give him the ball to him 4 or 5 times and it's very sporadically, there's a lot of game tackling on and guys playing to the box more as you kind of see the run. So just allow him to get his touches, get out there and do what he does, and allow him to get confident.
Well, he is such an outlier in so many ways, Jerome Messam, unlike any other back in the Canadian Football League with that size. Mitchell now decides to throw, fires, and Jordan hauls it in. Sam Williams, the tackle down near the 36-yard line. These guys have got some chemistry this year, Dwayne.
Yeah, Kamar Jordan really came into his own in the final third of last season. It was interesting to hear Bo Levi Mitchell talk about it, and his suggestion was that the guy that really gave Kamar Jordan a push was Bakari Grant, now with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but a veteran guy, a guy who would speak out and get after his teammates a little bit. And Kamar Jordan is a guy who first came up here with the Stampeders in 2013, strictly as a PR guy. Over the next 2 years, 14 and 15, 3 catches for a combined 13 yards before exploding last year.
Mitchell again, another dart like that to Kamar Jordan. And Jordan out of Bowling Green back in 2015 played 2 games for Calgary, but look at what he's done through last year and into this year, and the numbers, including in Montreal despite the loss, and he has been captain clutch on second down conversions.
Yeah, he
dozen
sure
now
has.
this season.
Yeah, really emerging as a go-to guy. And there you saw the first 4 games of this season. You also add in the last 6 from last year. I mean, he was a guy, he played the first 2, sat out 10 consecutive games, and then was on fire the last 6 games of the regular season for Calgary.
2nd and inches automatic for the Mack truck. Messam.
Kamar Jordan has become the perfect complement to Marquay McDaniel in the slot for these Calgary Stampeders. You think about some of the depth that they've had in the past years that he's been here, but that depth has allowed him really the opportunity to develop, and look at the player they've got now. I talked about the last 10 games. That's 59 catches, 859 yards, going back to that stretch run last year.
Bo throws, looks end zone, and that was a dangerous pass looking for McDaniel, and that was almost picked off.
Yeah, it looked like the guy with the best shot at that was Samuel Aguavin, the linebacker who dropped into deep coverage here.
Who I don't think was ever a receiver in his younger days. That could have been a pick for Aguavin, who is a very talented linebacker.
Well, there you saw him showing his versatility. He's a guy who's typically a traditional middle linebacker, but dropped deep to help out on that one.
And Saskatchewan jumping again. That was Enoch Mwamba as they were trying to load up the box and send some bodies. Were they drawn?
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 10. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That will be second down, in fact, second and 5 because of that incomplete pass, but still another penalty that Chris Jones cannot be happy about inside that red zone. Stamps have kind of struggled this year, but not this time because Lamar Durant hauls it in. Touchdown. Touchdown pass. Lamar Durant's second major score of the season.
Lamar Durant continues to come into his own here in his 3rd Canadian Football League season. Big receiver drafted, the late 2nd rounder out of Simon Fraser in 2015. A little bobble there, but he managed to haul it in time, shuffle his feet.
Right now, the Calgary Stampeders pitching a shutout. Came into the game tonight 7th place in the league of the 9 teams in efficiency in the red zone inside that 20-yard line. Numbers are going to increase here tonight. They are off and running. Jerome Messam is certainly the spark, keeping those drives going, and Markway McDaniel finished one off, and Lamar Durant finishes this drive off. It's 17-0 Calgary.
Most of it was wet coming out of his hand.
Lamar Durant lines up as the outside man in this sort of three-man stack. Creates leverage as he presses to the inside. Williams, again, nickel linebacker. He's got to protect his inside, so he's going to bite on that inside move. Plants hard. Then a break to the outside. Creates plenty of separation for Durant.
Guy who is really coming to his own and has become a focus point.
Good placement with the ball delivery there. Over top of the Rider fans in the front row.
It's okay, it's a breeze.
Well, it has been a breeze so far. Saskatchewan hasn't offered much resistance in this game here tonight. The first of three meetings between the rivals. For whatever reason, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have just had a nightmarish experience here in Calgary through the years. 9 straight losses at McMahon Stadium.
And they've done a good job containing Kevin Glenn, who's been red hot through the early part of this 2017 season.
Kevin Glenn, who had 3 straight games of 30-plus completions, but he is getting no space. Maybe Greg Morris could supply a spot. Nice return. Morris again up near the 42-yard line, so a good starting point for Kevin Glenn, but can he shake off some of those red jerseys and find some of the guys in green and white? Lamar Durant, latest to the house. 3-minute warning here in Calgary before halftime.
3 minutes till halftime. Rod, Matt, Milt here standing by to talk about this game. Hey, remember Josh Bell pushed Jerron Carter before the game? Stampeders have been pushing the Riders in this first half. We'll talk about that, especially the defensive pressure by Calgary. Let's go back to Rod and Dwayne.
All right, thank you, guys. Makes you wonder when the Roughriders are going to start to push back in this one. Already the benefit of an interception they could not capitalize on, but it's been that front 7 really of the Stamps that have made it difficult for Kevin Glenn. Well, Spencer Moore out of the backfield has a first down. They'll move the sticks.
With each successive sack that Charleston Hughes accumulates, he closes the gap a little bit on Will Johnson for the Stampeders' all-time lead. Johnson, of course, one of the all-time greats here in the red and white. Charleston Hughes now in his 10th season with the Stampeders.
Now keep it on the turf this time for Cameron Marshall on first down. We'll watch Charleston Hughes and Derek Dennis in their ongoing feud and friendship.
I look forward to it. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it quite some time because we even talked about it practicing against each other a couple times, saying if I ever get a chance to play against you, you haven't seen the real Charleston yet. You only seen practice Charleston. When I'm joking around and playing around and trying new moves, but I'm going to all my go-tos now.
And there's the go-to. That time, coming off the other side, off Thaddeus Coleman, and Charleston Hughes has the hat trick now. 3 sacks. And I'd say that the real Charleston Hughes is scary.
Well, he sure is. And here they create a mismatch with the twist. As you see, the linebacker Malik Harris works outside to take the tackle out. That leaves Charleston Hughes, one of the league's best pass rushing defensive ends, with the running back Marshall trying to block him. Hughes just overpowers him and basically carries him into the quarterback.
Charleston dancing and surfing here tonight. 5 sacks already for Calgary, and we're not even at the half. 3 by Charleston Hughes, who again has been out of the lineup nursing a knee injury, and they have missed him. This is what Saskatchewan's been doing all night, punting way too much for Chris Jones' liking. Every possession a punt. Roy Finch is swallowed up near the 14-yard line. And Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stamps have a chance to put more points on the board, but huge assist to the defense. Big assist, Charleston Hughes.
Yeah, and how much have they missed this guy over the last couple of weeks? All sorts of injuries to their entire defensive end rotation, as well as Hughes being out. Jagarrett Davis, Cordero Law, both on the 6-game injured list. Seems like Charleston Hughes has come on today looking to make up for all of their collective absences.
Woe is Kevin Glenn tonight. You can talk about the inefficiency of the Saskatchewan offense. They haven't found Duron Carter yet. Eamon Roosevelt has hardly been used. Rob Bagg, Bakari Grant. Kevin Glenn hasn't got a second in that backfield.
Well, this has been the thing. Kevin Glenn has been, in terms of his rating under pressure, has been the league's best quarterback under pressure this season. But the fact is the pressure has just gotten to him too quickly in this ball game, and credit the guys on the back end as well, that even if the front group hasn't gotten broken through all that quickly, they've been able to buy some time for the pass rushers to get it done.
Well, Glenn, who's been around for so many years and so many teams, doesn't have to be told there's got to be a way to adjust to this. Maybe a few more screen passes, try to have a deeper drop, whatever it is. It is going to be an awfully long night or short night for Kevin Glenn the way it's going.
Yeah, real tough start. That there are going to have to be some adjustments. And you know that I'm a big believer that one of the things that you want to do in order to control the pass rush a little bit is get your run game going. But the deeper hole they get into in terms of scoreboard, you start thinking in terms of getting points quickly, and obviously running isn't the way to do that. But you like to be able to have some balance between the run and pass, even the quick pass and the longer pass, to slow down those pass rushers a little bit so they don't always have their ears pinned back.
Minute and a half to go. Bo will throw it out of bounds. Well, we came into this game talking about, you know, some of the obvious streaks that were going on. Bo Levi Mitchell had that 19-game undefeated streak snapped last week. Penalty flag was on this play near the out of bounds on the far side. Also that losing streak by Saskatchewan, and another streak. The Calgary Stampeders have not lost back-to-back games in 91 games.
Yeah, this is one of the marks.
Defensive pass interference, Saskatchewan, number 17. It's a 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
One of the marks of a great football team, obviously, is the way you rebound from adversity. You've got the matchup on the outside, top of your screen. Mar Durant, newcomer Creston Butler.
Counter play, and again, Jerome Messam, the boulder carrying the rock, has a pickup of 3, it looks like.
The Stamps changing up the pace now a little bit.
Give it to Messam once more. Steamrolling near the 42, moves the sticks again. Plenty of time to get in field goal range, or even better for Calgary if they can, is try to take it to the end zone once more.
Well, you're starting to see the impact of the Stamps putting together drives versus Saskatchewan's inability to stay on the field offensively. The Saskatchewan defense playing the number of snaps they're playing and the number of times they've had to defend the run. Big bodies leaning on guys up front.
Well, we've got a visitor right in the middle of the play. There is a squirrel on the field. That's the new sleeper play. There he is, and he's sleeping.
Does that qualify as 13 men in the huddle?
Yeah.
He almost got run over there.
He did. They're trying to get him out. There he goes. We've had jackrabbits here before, and the squirrel thinks he's a jackrabbit. Still out there. Great outdoors. He's right in the middle of there. He's smart.
Stayed on side.
Yes, he did. Lamar Durant. Another first down. 32 seconds. Maybe a chance for a couple more quick hitters. Mitchell might even take a shot vertically here.
They had nice misdirection on the hitch screen on that one. They faked sort of a toss or a bubble screen out to the left before going back to the right with the hitch to Durant.
Rory Kohler comes in from the sideline, 87 in motion. Mitchell looks left, and that was batted. Clock ticks down to 18. Rene Paredes's longest field goal this season is 40.
And again, a reminder, Calgary now is going against the wind in this second quarter, so they need a pretty good chunk of real estate here to get into legitimate field goal range.
And they need about at least 10 to 15 yards. Paredes is ready, though. Second down and 10. Riders will rush 3. Bo now in trouble. Escapes and throws it out of bounds. Avoids the sack. Willie Jefferson and had him in his sights, and Jefferson tried to grab Mitchell by the ankles, and Bo was able to hop out and avoid the sack.
Oh, Willie Jefferson adds to his near league leading pressure numbers.
So Rob Maver with 10 seconds remaining, like the last play of the first half. And he will boot it. Deron Carter steps out of bounds on a 48-yard kick. So one more play to go. And a lot of work for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in this locker room to devise some sort of strategy, some sort of adjustment to take the heat off Kevin Glenn.
Yeah, I think the number one thing is just get in there and take a deep breath. They've got to figure out how they're going to impact Charleston Hughes. You've got to do some things scheme-wise to affect his pass rush as well, so he's not just teeing off and coming. Whether you get the backs involved in the protection scheme, the receivers move the pocket a little bit so they don't always know from where Kevin Glenn is going to launch the football.
Because of that defense, Bo Levi Mitchell has had a lot of football offensively and has had his way. Just going to keep it on the ground and take it to the locker room now. Calgary Stampeders shutting out their visitors from Saskatchewan 17-0. The losing continues in Calgary. Can they turn it around for the green and white in the second half? 3 sacks for Charleston, a sea of red in the first half. 17-0 as we send it back to Rod and the guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Rod. We've been marveling over some of these stats, although I don't think the fans of the green and white are marveling over them right now. Back with the panel of Milt Stegall and Matt Dunnigan. Well, you know, we talked before, too, about Joshua Bell getting very angry at Deron Carter before this game and wondering what the impact might be of the bad blood between these two teams. It ended up being symbolic, Milt, of a defense that seems angry and has a tremendous amount of push on Kevin Glenn and that Rider offense, letting them do nothing in this game.
And the Calgary Stampeders have dominated this game, but you talk about the one area that's really dominated, that defensive line. And Kevin Glenn and Cameron Marshall and whoever else is back there, they haven't been able to do anything. You see Micah Johnson right here making a big tackle, forcing him to lose yards. But the man who's been having a great game is the man who's missed 2 games, and that's Charleston Hughes. He's making up for those 2 games he missed. He has 3 sacks so far. The last time he played the Roughriders, he had 3 sacks. Kevin Glenn used to be a mobile quarterback. He's not mobile anymore. So these Calgary Stampeders know Kevin Glenn is not going to move the launch point. These Saskatchewan, they got to block better. They don't have a chance if they can't block this defensive line. Now, they're only down by 17 points, but they have a chance.
Only that looks like insurmountable right now because Kevin Glenn doesn't have time to have a cup of coffee back there, man.
I don't think they want him to get that 50,000 yards tonight. I don't think they want him to get it.
Now, I thought that was like going to be in the first quarter. It's suspect now. That's in question, you know. And what I was looking at Deron Carter and Joshua Bell prior to, right? And oftentimes this happens in a ball game. The bad mouth and the blood. And this is, come on, that's a fine. You got to be smarter than that. But the only thing that's really come from that is this questionable hit from Carter on Bell. And And you watch it right here. Nice job by our libero guy, Ben, teeing that up for us. And it brings your attention right to the play. And I think that was questionable hit there. It was lucky Carter didn't call for it. But really, it hasn't amounted to anything. I look for this, to continue to play out through the game. But that's a sidebar compared to the butt kicking that's going on up at the line of scrimmage for that offensive line. Destroying it. Look. Jerome Messam has 17 carries. How many? 17 carries in the first half. That's NFL numbers.
That's the total amount for Hamilton all year long.
Yeah, that's right. Hamilton doesn't do that in a half the season. But 17 carries for 96 yards, dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides, defense and O-line. It's embarrassing for Saskatchewan right now.
What do you think they need to do, Saskatchewan, to come out in this second half? What do they need to do to change the outcome of this game? Because right now...
Well, I think you said, for one thing, protect Kevin Glenn a little bit better.
Well, you saw the stat line. It's punt, 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 punt.
Six possessions.
Yeah. And,
6 punts.
And so what I would try to do offensively is to mix it up. I may go no huddle so they are able to get signals in and whatnot and change personnel. But right now, it blows me away because last week in Montreal, we were talking about all the defensive linemen that are out of the game and how their pass work together up front for Calgary. And this week, they look like all world with Charleston Hughes.
And like you said, real quick, Dave Dickinson, he's not going to take his foot off the pedal regardless of how many points they're up.
Right.
He's going to keep scoring as much as he can.
When that bad blood between he and Chris Jones last week, I can see this one being 45.
Early with the challenges. We'll hear from Farhan Lalji in a moment. 272 to 34 in net yards in that first half.
Green blood meets red blood meets bad blood here tonight in Calgary. Mitchell sees man, and Markway McDaniel can walk to the end zone. Touchdown. There goes the ball, and look who's got it once more. What a terrific catch again from Markway McDaniel. Glenn steps up and is brought down. Glenn is going down and is hit hard.
CFL grade and Grey Cup champion Henry Burris with the GMC Professional Grade Playbook.
Langford out across the 25, kicks it outside, and down the sidelines. He ropes it. He's going to outrun the ball. Ryan Langford.
We love to see an opening kickoff break into the open and go to the house, or that critical moment in a game where a punt returner finds a seam and takes it all the way, where special teams are the most important unit of every team. They can win or lose a game for you each time they are on the field. They represent the makeup of your team. And you probably wonder, what happened to allow that long return? Well, it boils down to staying in your lane. The coverage teams are assigned lanes that they must remain in. Even when diverted, they have to get back to where they're assigned. When you see the end zone view and see multiple same-colored jerseys stacking each other, that opens up return lanes. And once the kick returner finds that first wave and finds that hole, it turns into a foot race. This is where a long gain can turn into a touchdown. And oh yeah, the kicker might have a chance, but probably not. When the rematch takes place between Ottawa and Toronto, we will talk about the art of the quarterback sneak. We'll see you then.
Stamps lead the Riders 17-0 at the half. Interesting week off the field. Chris Jones closing practice for a day, suspecting Hamilton of spying a couple of weeks ago. And then Calgary closing off practice, suspecting the Riders of spying. More in this latest round of CFL espionage from Farhan Lalji.
This is not the first time both the Riders and Stampeders have been concerned that other teams might be spying on them. A year ago, in games involving Ottawa and Winnipeg, the Riders had big concerns because not only were those teams able to adjust very quickly to looks the Riders hadn't previously shown, they also called out terminology the Riders were using internally to describe those plays. As far as Calgary is concerned, it wasn't that long ago, and they closed practices when Chris Jones' Edmonton teams came to town and when Jim Barker's Toronto teams came to town. Now, one of the big problems with the CFL is that it's a very small league and there are very few degrees of separation. It's virtually impossible for a matchup to occur without players and staffers from the two teams involved having been involved with those previous organizations. There are relationships there and people know how to get information from the other cities. There are also concerns about media in this league being very close, that information can get from one reporter to the next and then back to the teams involved. Now, as for the CFL, they are not investigating any of these current suggestions and there have been no formal complaints filed. The league itself does not have a formal policy on spying in practice, but it simply is a rule of thumb that you don't do it. And back in 2009, involving a game with Hamilton and Winnipeg, following that, Mark Cohan made it very clear. He sent a letter to all 8 teams at that time saying this is not to continue. But certainly everybody around the league believes it is continuing, and don't be surprised if more teams opt to close 1 practice a week going forward.
At the half, 17 points does look awfully insurmountable right now. We'll see what happens if Saskatchewan can get it back in this game and start moving the football. It is halftime in Calgary, and the Stampeders are absolutely dominating, Milt.
Total dominance. If you look at that, 272 net yards to 34, but it's only 17-0. There's a chance.
No, Mill.
3 of those 5 sacks belong to Charleston Hughes, standing by with Jermaine Franklin.
Look at that. No.
Well, Charleston, we saw you having a great conversation with Derek Dennis there. Care to let us in on a little bit of the content of that?
He in his feelings right now. Because all these sacks starting to roll around on both these tackles, so they frustrated, don't know what to do. So, of course, he's going to be in his feelings about blocking me. You know, he got to try to stop me, right? He the offensive lineman of the year. I'm the sack leader from last year. Come see me.
So, first half obviously goes to you. What needs to occur in order for you guys to continue to pressure Kevin Glenn? 3 sacks is pretty impressive for just 1 half for you.
I mean, I thought I had 4, but I think it don't stop from here. We just keep moving and keep pushing and just keep getting after the quarterback. And I'm positive that was 4.
Thanks for this, Charleston.
Thank you.
Let's not get greedy, Charleston. I mean, 3's pretty good, isn't it? Okay, maybe 4. We'll look into that later on. We're not talking about practice anymore against Derek Dennis. The real deal. And it's all Stampeders. Second half coming up.
All right, thank you, Rod. Back at McMahon Stadium, where the Stampeders playing bully with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 17-0. What kind of adjustments will the Roughriders have in store in the second half? Here's Jermaine Franklin with Saskatchewan head coach Chris Jones.
Coach Jones, what was the message for your team, and what do you expect out of them coming out in this second half?
Well, there are no 17-point plays. We've got to put drives together. We've got to go 1 play at a time and just come back out and play more physical. We're getting out physical on both sides of football up front.
Clearly, Kevin Glenn has seen the turf a little bit more often than you would like. How do you keep him clean?
Well, we're not protecting him. We've got to do a better job if it's staying between our guy and the quarterback.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thanks.
Yeah, you saw that number, daunting one, 1-11, trailing at halftime over the last couple of seasons with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Kevin Glenn's been like a human piñata out there.
Well, he certainly has. And really, the battle at the line of scrimmage has been won both offensively and defensively by the Calgary Stampeders. We talk about the pressure that Kevin Glenn has faced throughout this game. It's just been relentless, and that's been the key to Calgary holding Saskatchewan to only 3 first downs in the entire first half. But you can make the same argument about the second half, or excuse me, about the offensive line for Calgary and what they've done in the ground game. They've taken control of the line of scrimmage.
Charleston Hughes says he's going for 4. Hard to believe you sometimes say, you have to stop somebody and you have to stop a defender like Charleston Hughes. But that's the game plan right now for Kevin Glenn, the 38-year-old nomad in this Canadian Football League, really a future Hall of Famer in so many ways. But look at those pedestrian subpar numbers, 5 of 8 for 55 yards.
Well, the thing that screams at you is just the fact that he only had the opportunity to get the ball out of his hands 8 times. A number of times that he was sacked in that ball game, but also when you just look at how few offensive plays they ran.
Glenn looks one way then the other. Something positive here and trying to get this guy involved, Bakari Grant. Kevin Glenn also came into tonight. We would have thought by halftime he would have been chasing or at least surpassed 50,000 yards. Came in needing 116 yards. And is that close to getting to the 50,000 yard milestone. It has not been easy. Funny thing is, in this league, you get on the board, get some momentum, things can change. Changing right now. First catch from Duron Carter. And the first down is a necessary one, almost paramount to start this third quarter.
Yeah, they've got to try and get that momentum right from the get-go. Calgary comes with just a 3-man rush this time, which actually allows Kevin Glenn some time to make something happen.
9-yard gain. Glenn moves closer to 50,000 yards in his career. Join 6 other players who have done it, including the late, great Ron Lancaster, who's ahead of him. Glenn turns a wobbler, Rob Bagg. So 3 receivers who did not have receptions in the first half, he immediately goes to them and spreads the wealth.
Yeah, a little hit screen there off play action to Rob Bagg. Back in that Riders starting lineup. Nick Dembski had gotten off to a pretty good start. 3rd-year man. Rob Bagg, one of the senior members of this team, now in his 10th year.
Our friend is back. Rocky. Second and 7. Glenn moves the pocket. Off his back foot in the sunshine far side. For Rob Bagg, another first down. And this is by far the most momentum the Riders have had all night long.
Well, that's exactly what Chris Jones said. We need to put drives together. Not going to get it done one play at a time.
And moving the pocket as well. And that's what it looks like into the sunshine. Bagg does well to snare that. Glenn is 34 yards away from 50,000 for his career. Glenn pump fake, now slinging, and it is incomplete. Rob Bagg trying to come back to make that catch, and almost did.
A nice adjustment to the football here by Rob Bagg to cut inside the defender Jamar Wall and go get that.
Wow, that would have been some grab. I would have put him at the 50K mark. Critical 2nd and 10. Trying to get points on the board here in this second half. Riders came into tonight #1 in the CFL on 2nd down conversions through 3 weeks. Over the top. And there is another first down. And Bakari Grant, former Hamilton Tiger Cat teammate of Kevin Glenn, 25 yards.
And Bakari Grant is going to line up as the #2 receiver here. With 3 into the boundary. You just see how with that crossing route, he shook coverage, a little bit of confusion. The Stampeders secondary as nobody followed him as he worked from the boundary side towards the field.
Next pass could be the one that takes him over 50,000. Here comes the rush, picked up, and there it is. Naaman Roosevelt, 50K for KG. 50,000 yards passing in his career, and they move the football down inside the 5-yard line.
Oh, great throw, great catch. Kevin Glenn threads the needle. Naaman Roosevelt goes and gets it in traffic.
Now threatening to score. Cam Marshall with a convoy. They don't have a signal yet. Riders say they have a touchdown, but still no signal from the officials. They're saying he's down at the 1. Or are they?
Cameron Marshall just keeps the legs going. Watch his legs continue to drive, continue to drive.
Well, that's clearly a touchdown. There is the signal. So a touchdown for Cameron Marshall. And suddenly the Saskatchewan Roughriders on an impressive drive and a milestone drive. This was a completely different offense than we saw in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, whatever message Chris Jones delivered at halftime was received loud and clear.
Tyler Krapina for the point after. Cameron Marshall scores the touchdown, but now Anthony Calvillo, Damon Allen, Henry Burris, Ricky Ray, Danny McManus, Ron Lancaster, and Kevin Glenn, the only CFL players to throw for more than 50,000 yards. Congratulations to #5, Kevin Glenn. 275 touchdown passes, 273 games, 8 teams, and now 50,000 plus yards for Kevin Glenn. How does it feel?
I'm in awe of it, you know, because there are not a lot of guys, very few, that have actually done it. And for at one point in my life, for somebody to tell me that I would never ever be able to play this position in college, you know, 17 years professionally, and to throw for over 50,000 yards says a lot. You sit back and your name is in the conversations of these other guys who are greats, who pass for over these many yards, and that's CFL or NFL. So it goes up there as some of the most memorable moments of my life.
50,000 and counting. The only thing missing for Kevin Glenn, though, chasing and hunting and pursuing a Grey Cup championship. Markin Michel on the fly. Great tackle downfield. Calgary Stampeders give up 7 points here, and Bo Levi Mitchell looking to respond.
And they were both back. Yeah. So they brought the after half. Brakes on, right? Yeah. Brakes on right there.
You know, you heard Kevin Glenn talk about that negativity that surrounded him as a high school quarterback. There's a Detroit Free Press article 20 years ago that said he'd never be a quarterback beyond high school. That article is in his dad's house somewhere. Still looks back on that and has used that as fuel. He's had a great career. Play action. Mitchell now chucks it and completes it far side. Tavares Daniels has his first catch of the night. Pressure that time from the Saskatchewan front.
Yeah, a little bit of heat. Mitchell does a nice job to elude this again. It's Willie Jefferson breaking through. Nice route by Tavares Daniels to drive the defender off and create a little bit of space. Of course, he's built a pretty good resume for himself as a deep threat. You see the defenders respecting that.
And around here for the Calgary Stampeders. That's a completion because it was a shovel pass in front to Kamar Jordan. I should tell you as well, keeping an eye on Jerome Messam, who was such a factor in that first half with 96 rushing yards. His career max is 139 back in 2011, and he might surpass that today. That kind of day for Jerome.
Yeah, 17 carries in the first half, leaving little doubt about what Calgary's game plan was coming in.
Bo throws again, though, and had his pass adjusted. Again, they get to the arm of Bo Levi Mitchell.
We've seen all 3 phases of the game here in the second half for Saskatchewan, looking like a completely different football team.
There's that stepping out of the tire that Matt Dunnigan was talking about on GMC Playbook a few weeks ago, but as Bo stepped out of that tire, he was met with more riders, and that front does a job. So suddenly the tide has turned here in the second half, and Saskatchewan put more points on the board. Would make it very nervous for the Calgary Stampeders, who were breezing along. There's Dembski. Minimal return up over the 40. Good starting point for Kevin Glenn once more. And Kevin Glenn trying to stay away from the clutches of this man, the colorful and fiery and outstanding sack surfer, Charleston Hughes.
The summer event you've been waiting for is back. Bigger, bolder, and with more great white bite. It all starts tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on Discovery. Rod Blackett's Shark Week.
Sounded like a WWE promo reader there. That was great. You're unbelievable. Shark Week. Well, the Sharks were swimming for the Calgary Stampeders. Kevin Glenn was the prey in the first half, but Alex Singleton Richardson takes down Cameron Marshall. Rodeo style.
There you see the middle linebacker, Alex Singleton. Needless to say, you've got to get a body on the middle linebacker on any run play.
Singleton made Taylor Reed expendable last year out of Montana State. A record-setting pace for tackles this season, already has 30 in this game. Glenn, though, looking for Naaman Roosevelt. Shaquille Richardson in coverage. Drive will end here, and the Stamps will get the ball back with 7 to go in the third quarter.
On key for Saskatchewan in order to maintain some semblance of momentum here after a great start to the second half, to get a big special teams cover and another good defensive series.
Saskatchewan team that seemed to finally get its feet underneath them. Lacks some rhythm. Finally warming up into this second half. They, keep in mind, had 2 weeks off, 14 days rest. They had a bye week as well. Won't use that as an excuse, but they are very much still in this game. 49-yard boot. Roy Finch brought down by Mike Edom. 17-7. Stamps in Calgary. Bo Levi Mitchell's touchdown ticker now at 101. Lamar Durant 101. And Marquay McDaniel, of course, caught touchdown pass 100 earlier in the ballgame, and then, of course, gave it to that young fan in the stands. Let's go down to Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. That's right. Marquay McDaniel scored the first touchdown of the game, and generously he gave it to a young fan, Cooper Johnson. Unfortunately, that was Bo Levi Mitchell's 100th touchdown pass. Very important. So Cooper Johnson generously gave the ball back, reluctantly, but he did his thing. Now, he did receive a jersey, a Marquay McDaniel signed jersey, because of his generosity. And that's not a bad consolation prize if you ask any CFL fan. Cooper Johnson is now a very big Marquay McDaniel fan.
He just might become the president of the M&M Club. Thanks, Jermaine. Great story. Bo Levi Mitchell in traffic through the window to Lamar Durant, who later caught touchdown pass 101, 8 yards. So Cooper not only go to the ballpark, you catch a ball, you get a jersey, and you get some valuable TV time. Way to go, young man.
Big day for him.
Don't forget that. So it's 2nd down and 2 for Mitchell. The Stampeders up 10. Again, trying to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time in more than 5 years. Back in 2012, Messam should be automatic. Draws a crowd, doesn't he?
That's the only way to bring him down. Big load, the Brampton bus. Jerome Messam.
Past the century mark tonight, 101 rushing yards now.
We talked earlier in this ball game about Messam being hit in the backfield with great frequency earlier in the season. But in this game, credit that offensive line for taking control in the trenches.
There he goes again, trucking up near the 50-yard line. He's averaging 5.6 yards a carry tonight, same number he had last night, and we talked about it earlier. He was only averaging, over the 4 games the Stamps had played, just below 4 yards a carry. So they are getting him involved. And give him more touches. Give him some space. There's the result.
Yeah, I'm a believer that for the Stampeders, it makes everybody's job on offense a little bit easier when they've got that run game going.
And out of the backfield, he can't hang on. And jawing with Willie Jefferson.
Well, this is one both would like to have back, a catch that Messam should have made, but Bo Mitchell wishes he had led him a little bit more with that one as well. See the frustration from both members of the Stampeders.
Duron Carter is back. Maver. Carter, those long strides, is stopped in his tracks. Saskatchewan ball when we come back. Kevin Glenn looking to come back.
I just got 2 Whopper sandwiches from the Mix and Match for $6.
I got 10 nuggets for $1.99. Clearly I got the better deal. Hey, I just said that. Oh yeah, you did.
Mix and match 2 sandwiches for $6 or get 10 nuggets for $1.99 only at Burger King.
You got 10 seconds. Time to find your ideal hotel. Just type in where you want to go. And with 2 clicks, you select your check-in, your checkout dates, and search. Hotel Trivago.
They called my dad the king of Griffintown. When I was a kid, there was a war going on. Bikers and the mob, gangs, and it was bad.
You're nothing like him.
What are you doing here, man? Just reminding you who you are.
Come on! Come on!
I love you, man.
I love you too.
Fire grilled pizza with handmade dough and gourmet toppings like prosciutto and arugula. Yeah, arugula. Why not enjoy one with a Budweiser this summer at Boston Pizza?
But did you check eBay?
No. No?
Get deals on what's totally new and totally you. Fill your cart with color. eBay.
MLS on TSN continues tomorrow with a battle between Whitecaps FC and Portland. Catch it at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific across the TSN network. Yeah, it's the red and green game. Christmas in July. So many Saskatchewan fans, so many Calgary fans. The Riders trying to snap a long losing streak here at McMahon. Glenn, quick hitter. Bakari Grant rolling over, and Bakari Grant, who last year was with the Calgary Stampeders, of course, played in the Grey Cup game. In fact, had 4 catches for 52 yards, had a 625-yard passing year last year and 10 games played. Second and 3. Cameron Marshall beside Kevin Glenn. Play action again, another quick hitter. Once again, Naaman Roosevelt.
Yeah, this is a great catch in traffic by Naaman Roosevelt. It may seem simple because it's just a short throw. You see he's coming from number 2 at the slot, quick slant. Defender closing, as we see so many times with Roosevelt. The guy is absolutely fearless coming across the middle.
Guy who played with Buffalo in college and Buffalo as well in the NFL. There's Bakari. Glenn finding some traction here in the second half. 2.5 to go third quarter. 1st and 10. In the 36, another quick hitter. And these quick snipes are keeping that front 3 and 4, that line, a little off balance here.
Yeah, and the Stampeders are giving them a little bit of room. You've got big-bodied receivers for Saskatchewan, even with Hawley out of the lineup. You've still got a 6'5" Duron Carter, 6'3", 6'4" Bakari Grant, Naaman Roosevelt at 6'1", 6'2". So they're able to body out the receivers on these slant type, or excuse me, the defenders on these slant routes.
Josh Bell is down. Charleston Hughes, who had 3 sacks in that first half and has been held sackless so far here in the second.
You see the adjustment made by Steve McAdoo, the offensive coordinator. Is the other thing that those types of routes are allowing Kevin Glenn to do is get the ball out of his hands quickly, and that obviously reduces the impact of any pressure the Stampeders are trying to put on him. So next move in the chess match goes to Devon Claybrooks. See how he adjusts to try and take that away.
Well, the Riders know, as invisible as they seemed offensively and defensively in that first half, they're a touchdown away from causing a lot of anxiety in this stadium.
Yeah, I mean, coming out and getting that first score to open this second half was huge for Saskatchewan.
Josh Bell, who always wears that face paint, that war paint, which he has become known for. See if he can get back in soon. Trying to get an update from Jermaine Franklin down there. He's such a key component to that defense, the free safety out of Baylor.
Well, that'll bring in the rookie out of Carleton, Tunde Adeleke.
Wonder if Kevin Glenn might attack that safety. 2nd and 2 though. Trying to get the first down. Look out, Cameron Marshall. His biggest run. This is what Cameron Marshall did a couple of seasons ago in Winnipeg and endeared himself to Blue Bomber fans.
Well, watch the offensive line. Gash this one right up the middle. Nice job by Pete Diakowski, the guard, getting up to middle linebacker Alex Singleton.
"24-yard gain, 40. Outside the 40, 41-yard line. Play action, here comes the rush. Glenn, pocket closes, gives it off to Marshall a little. Dinking and dunking here as well going on in this third quarter from Kevin Glenn. Will he stretch it out?
And you're seeing the difference now with the quick passes, the success of the run of Cameron Marshall. And now suddenly Kevin Glenn actually has time, that even when his deep routes are covered, he's got time to progress through his reads enough to actually get to that check down. That wasn't happening for him in the first half. He'd have been hit by then.
3 straight games, 30-plus completions has only been done by 2 other players. Kevin Glenn a long way from that right now, but final 30 seconds, third quarter. Needs 5. Gets 5. Roosevelt over the top, brought down by Jamar Wall.
Well, here's Derek Dennis working against Charleston Hughes again. We know Charleston Hughes got the better of this matchup in the first half, but Dennis has done a nice job on a couple of repetitions here, driving Hughes past the launch point, protecting Kevin Glenn.
What a release valve Naaman Roosevelt is. Saskatchewan fans being heard from now in McMahon. Could be the last play barring penalty of this third quarter, which has been owned completely now by the green and white. Hit screens of Akari Grant. Dashes down Tommy Campbell, short of a first down. The teams will change ends. Saskatchewan will go second down now and short yardage. Suddenly, this game has turned. The Roughriders still in it when all looked lost in that first half. 17-7 Saturday night. Little squirrely in Calgary. The visiting Riders trailing after 3 quarters, but momentum has turned. Little swing here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and with a score here could make it very interesting. Calgary Stampeders over the last 2 seasons, though, 15-2 leading after 3 quarters. The Saskatchewan Roughriders 2-13. Make that 1-13 trailing after 3 quarters. So the numbers certainly favor Calgary.
Yeah, the trends certainly do, but obviously if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders, learning how to come back, learning how to overcome adversity and so on are a big part of their development and growth as a team here in their second year under Chris Jones.
8th play of the drive, though, Dwayne. Green and red and a mosaic on that far sideline. Saskatchewan 8 of 15 on second down conversions. Trying to squirm out again. It looks like Cameron Marshall, depending on the spot, is going to be short here.
And you're getting to a territory where when you're Chris Jones, you got to think long and hard about going for this, even if it's a long one.
Both teams, by the way, this season are perfect on third down gambles. Calgary 10 of 10, Saskatchewan 5 of 5. But they are not going to go on third down. Tyler Krapina will come out. Josh Bartel will hold. They're going to go for the points and make this a 7-point game. Have to hit it, though, from the 27. Former kicker will bury it. And the Roughriders have climbed within a converted touchdown. Tyler Krapina nails it down Main Street. We got a ball game here in Calgary. Stadium in Calgary. Beautiful night. Late July. Suddenly we've got a closer football game. Looked like it could have been a rout at halftime. Calgary dominated in every phase. Tyler Krapina, though, his field goal has put his Riders within 7. Mark and Michel. So the strong arm of Bo Levi Mitchell. That last-minute pass, the warm-up, you see that left arm of Bo Levi Mitchell. That looks a lot different than it did last year. He's got a new tattoo, some ink.
Yeah, a little extra work there added to the collection.
2 of the 3 sisters, of course, the famous peaks near Canmore, Alberta. And also in there is a picture of an elephant. Loves elephants. He and his wife and their daughter Ellie. Tribute as well. So he's inked up this year, Bo Levi Mitchell. Tell you what, that's a commitment to a city when you're putting ink on and art. And look at this escape. And there's a penalty coming here, you have to think. Flag goes down. A.C. Leonard was chasing down Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, the Riders are doing a pretty good job turning up the heat here in the second half. All part of their reversal of fortunes.
Leonard got his hand close to the grill.
Calgary number
but
61.
The call is
the penalties decline.
Holding.
Second down.
Saskatchewan's defense has really risen up here in this second half.
Yeah, I think all 3 phases of the game, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have responded since halftime. We'll just see whether they put themselves in too much of a hole in the first half or if they're going to be able to overcome.
Calgary 12 of 18 tonight on second down attempts. Trying to convert here. Looked like offside Calgary. They jumped. And Durant has the catch. Jeff Heck wraps him up. 20 yards. Looked like a Stampeder receiver was downfield. Flags on both sides. This might be coming back. Well, they're saying it's against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that was at the line of scrimmage. Right on the nose. I believe that was Mac Henry.
They have lined up. Yeah, there it is. He's offside. Well, they should. And Anthony Parker's offside. Anthony Parker's about 2 steps offside.
Well, got away with one there.
Calgary keeps the drive going here. 1st and 10 from their 50. Gone away from Nesson here. Go to the air. Jordan. Kamar Jordan has another catch here tonight for 9 yards. D lineman Zach Minter made the tackle.
Well, big credit to Jordan here making the first guy miss, because this play looked like it was going to be dead at the line of scrimmage.
Jordan had a career best 140 last week. Six for 60 here tonight. Andrew Buckley comes in on 2nd and 1. First we've seen him, the short yardage quarterback. Played his college ball in this stadium. Calgary Dino already has a touchdown this season. 60-yard scamper against the Ottawa Redblacks. Successful first down, they move the sticks.
And Buckley and Brandon Bridge in this ball game. We've got 2 young Canadians who have worked their way up the quarterback depth charts with their respective teams, each finding themselves in the number 2 slot here.
Yeah, legitimate backups. First and 10. Messam time. Not this time. A.C. Leonard says, no way.
It looked like there may have been an opportunity there for Mitchell to pull the ball. Go play action or bootleg to the backside of that run, as you're going to see the defense is staying with Messam all the way. Willie Jefferson jumped inside on the backside of the play. He's the guy who kind of has to stay at home and read it in case Mitchell does pull it.
Great penetration from that front line. They rush 3 this time. And Jordan once more. And a first down again. Another second down conversion from 88.
I can't say enough about the emergence of Kamar Jordan. He continues his fantastic start to 2017.
Down to the 35 and eating up clock here tonight. Batted down once more. Third time tonight, a knockdown from the line of scrimmage.
Well, Willie Jefferson, one of those former receivers, now playing defensive end for the Riders. Just wishes he could have pulled out the receiver skills on that one. Great reaction to get the hands up, bat that one down.
Well, second down has meant Kamar Jordan 14 times this season on second down, 3 times tonight. Will they go to 88? Second and 10. Saskatchewan jump, but were they drawn? And the Riders are pointing at that Stampeder front line.
Procedure, Calgary, number 60. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Left guard Shane Bergman from the Western Mustang.
We only pull out the Western thing when they do something positive. I thought you understood that at this point in our careers.
You're right. Sorry about that. He's a very good player.
That he is. That he is. Stamps happy to have him back in the lineup after an injury absence.
Remember that, the Western thing. Anthony Parker in motion. Quadruple receivers to the left. He goes right. And nobody home. Was looking for Devaris Daniels, and communication issue that time on that route. And so a successful stop for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the 35-yard line. Rene Paredes is going to come out here with the wind. And it looks like this is going to be about the 47.5-yard line. Andrew Buckley will supply the hold.
I believe it's Duron Carter going deep again for Saskatchewan.
Kick is up, and with the breeze, it's good. That could be a key field goal here tonight. Stamps restore a 10-point advantage. Paredes hits. 20-10 Calgary. Today was Pure Later Tackle Hunger Day in Calgary, and of course this program helping out so many across our nation. The next food drive is in Regina, August 13th. 850,000 Canadians visit food banks. A third of them are children. And food banks in the summer, so challenging to equip them. The Grey Cup here, and thanks to Pure Later and the Tackle Hunger program, making it a whole lot easier for so many. Kevin Glenn pulls it back, pump fake, and on the sideline looking for Duron Carter. It'll be second down. Let's go down to Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. It looks like Josh Bell is done for the night with what appears to be a left leg injury. He was on the medical table working on his left knee, and he didn't look like he was in a lot of pain. He was talking throughout the process, but clearly something isn't right. The two major signs that he won't be back: he left his helmet on the turf, and he was coaching up Tunde Adeleke during the break.
Adeleke now. Carlton Starr is the free safety on second and 10. Glenn fires, and Bakari Grant can't pull that in.
Here's a look at what Jermaine mentioned a few minutes ago. Veteran mentor and the young student. Delacaye's already made his impact here in the CFL on special teams. The punt return touchdown. OUA All-Star returner during his time with Steve Samara's Ravens.
Time ticking down here in a 10-point game. Bartel, end over end kick. Roy Finch cutting back. Enoch Mwamba was downfield quickly to drop him. Jerome Messam for 100 yards tonight. Big contribution from the M train. Stamps trying to silence the Riders. They only played a half game last game, thrown out in Montreal. Tonight, Jerome Messam, a man on a mission.
Yeah, got off to a great start. Obviously, the key piece in the Calgary Stampeders offensive game plan coming in. He was averaging 3.9 yards per carry up till this point in the season. Today, 20 carries, 105 yards thus far for an average of 5.3 per shot.
Last year's MOC, Most Outstanding Canadian, an award he's won twice. Crash and bash again. Of course, Jerome Messam, who, when he broke into the league, such a mercurial character that, you know, there's a lot of talk about what kind of a player he was on the field and off the field, what kind of a teammate he was. He's answered a lot of those critics through the years.
Yeah, no question that he has matured over time. I mean, this is a guy who, in 2008, a great draft, but a guy who was passed over in the draft, not because there were questions about his talent, but because there were questions about his character. And I think he's really worked hard to overcome that.
Wants a Grey Cup ring so bad. Bo Levi Mitchell's taking a shot. He's got his man, and Kamar Jordan can't run underneath. Just a overthrow that time. Otherwise, that was game, set, and match.
You're going to see Kamar Jordan with the running start here. He's the number 2 receiver to the field. Just at that great drive, the start of his route.
Saskatchewan defense holds once more. Maver. Duron Carter. Fakes one way and goes near sideline. Tiptoes. Knocked out of bounds. Charlie Power. 20-10 Stamps.
Oh, Duron Carter on the sideline. I think he's got it. Yeah, he's got a legitimate case for a late hit there. He had taken at least a couple of steps on the line by the time that big collision came.
Well, Kevin Glenn with still lots of time. He's had more time in the pocket. That's been a theme in the second half. Naaman Roosevelt lays out, gets half the first down yardage, maybe a yard less than that, maybe 4 here. 5th catch for number 82.
A lot of credit going to the Riders' offensive line and backs in terms of their pass protection for the way that they've stepped up in the second half of this football game. It's risen to the challenge to give Kevin Glenn an opportunity to make some plays.
Second down conversion tonight, 8 of 17 now for Glenn and company. 3-man rush. There goes the ball in traffic. It is picked off by Jamar Wall. Out of the arms of Duron Carter into the midst of Jamar Wall, but did this hit the turf? Is this a pick?
Deontay Evans with the pass breakup, and there you see clearly not an interception as the tip of the ball. Touchdown before Wall could secure it.
And every turnover is reviewed by command. Chris Jones is asking, did they see that it hit the ground? Did they see that? Otherwise, he's going to challenge.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to throw the flag in this instance.
No. Again, command reviews every turnover, every scoring play. This one was clear as day.
I mean, in this instance, it was ruled a turnover, ruled an interception on the field, so they have to be automatically reviewing it. Chris Jones should not need to throw a challenge flag here.
Viewed by the command center, and it was turned over to be an incomplete pass. It will now be 3rd and 6, Saskatchewan.
So Saskatchewan will bring the kick team out, but they'll get the benefit of some yards here as they'll boot it back to the Stamps. Otherwise, the Stamps would have had instant field position. Dave Dickinson's looking at the big screen, and
if they get the other angle, this angle will show
he'll
on
see
the big screen.
If he looks at this one, he'll see that it is trapped.
Yeah, there was the big moan as they showed the angle from the side where it's not quite as clear, but then little reaction from the fans when they showed a better shot of what had happened. Tip of the ball touching down.
And Saskatchewan with this funky setup. Martel, low screamer into the wind. Finch, shaken, getting loose here. Getting real loose here. Roy Finch chased out of bounds. And so the Stamps lose the field position on the overturned turnover, but they get it back immediately thanks to the speedster Roy Finch.
Yeah, wide side return is on here. Couple steps upfield and then the break. And then it's just the wheels of Roy Finch getting whatever he can.
Toby Antigua can move though. You see where those wide receiver chops help in.
That's it. Guy who was a receiver throughout his college career. Beefed up to play a little bit of D-line here in the Canadian Football League.
If he doesn't chase him out, Finch is in the house. So now Jerome Messam, 110 yards on the night. A guy we talked about his maturity. Even over the last year has become a brand new daddy. So things have changed in his life off the field.
Yeah, great story, Jerome Messam. You mentioned earlier, bounced around a bit early in his career. BC, the first team to give him an opportunity, had some success there, but they decided to go in a different direction as Andrew Harris took over as their starting running back.
Bo still throwing. Takes a shot to the end zone. Marquay McDaniel thought he was interfered with. Letting the side judge know it. So it will be 3rd down. Dave Dickinson's taking a look. He's holding on to that yellow challenge flag.
We'll see the stop and go right here. As Chris Lyles bit on the initial hook.
Yeah, upstairs, the spotter's box saw the replay, and so Dickinson throws the challenge. If you're just joining us, we had, I think, a record 3 challenge flags in probably 40 seconds to start the ball game. All successful.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if we've ever had 2 successful challenges on the same play by 2 different teams.
Defensive pass interference on their receiver number 16. We'll review the play.
So Dickinson again was holding that flag, heard from upstairs, and then tossed it. Time really running out now on the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So McDaniel, the trailer in this cluster of 4 receivers. There's the hook. Chris Lyles bit hard on that. The contact wasn't intentional. He was just making a play on what he thought was going to be the route with a little pump fake there from Mitchell. Lyles bites. And that impedes McDaniel just enough. They're unable to get to it on the deep route. And thus the flag.
Riders trying to get their 2nd win in a row. It's going to be hard pressed now. Next week, home against the Toronto Argonauts. Stampeders will host the Hamilton Tiger Cats next week. We've got a verdict from CFL Command. Likely means that this drive is going to stay alive.
This one appeared to be a pretty clear case of illegal contact.
Prior to the pass being thrown, we have illegal contact, Saskatchewan number 35. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down, Calgary.
Stamps offense returns to the field here and a chance to really seal this. They get one to the end zone. A 17-0 lead at the half. Saskatchewan has bitten back here. That return by Roy Finch. Set up Levi Mitchell now in the red zone. Here's Jordan. Again down near the 5. Another first down, first and goal for the Stamps. The worst thing of all for the green and white right now is that they're chewing up this clock.
Oh, they sure are. You see this play with lots of moving parts, looking to create some confusion before dishing to Jordan in the flat.
8 catches, 89 yards for Kamar Jordan, who has really made a name for himself in a city that has really had an assembly line of receivers for so many years. Guys who become stars get an opportunity at Knox. They kick the door down. Mitchell, end zone. Markway McDaniel could not run underneath that.
Yeah, just a little bit early. You saw a little bit of contact there, but incidental, and I think early enough in the route that that's a non-issue.
Well, they elect to go to the air there. Likely another throwing down, and do have that big guy in the backfield. They're going to hand it to him, and he's going to score. No, he's not. It's a fumble. It's a fumble. Jeff Heck
did.
Now let's see what happened here. It looked like Jerome Messam had penetrated the goal line with the football.
Yeah, he's just got to clear the front plane. Let's see with the reach.
Yeah, he does.
He breaks the plane, and then the ball pops out when he hits the ground. There you see he's broken the plane, and then the arm comes back, but he's broken the plane of the goal line.
So now they're going to review this anyways because it is a turnover. They are saying it is going to be third down.
So they ruled that the ground caused him to fumble, but
he did not make it in.
Not in.
And not automatically reviewable, apparently. So now on third down, Messam once more. This time smashes through. What a night for Mr. Messam. Makes you wonder sometimes when they set up on first and goal why they wouldn't just think, well, wait a second, did we talk about that before? Maybe last November?
They're just adding a little bit of drama.
He's almost unstoppable. Gets ahead of steam. Behind those 5 big guys up front, Jerome Messam with his second rushing touchdown of the season. That likely solidified it, put it away here tonight for the Calgary Stampeders. Paredes point after is good. Jerome Messam is good, and tonight he has been great.
Let's go, baby. Hey, man, stop the bullshit.
For a guy who should be celebrating, he's not the happiest camper right now. Stamps are, though, 27-10. Back at it at Royal Birkdale tomorrow morning, bright and early, 4:30 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Pacific time for the 146th Open. And a Canadian, guy who has dual citizenship, right in the hunt, presented by Asante Wealth Management. Austin Connolly, who spent some time in Nova Scotia playing golf growing up, and whereas the Maple Leaf is at -5. Jordan Spieth at 11 under. Could add another jewel to his chase of a Grand Slam. Matt Kuchar's at 8 under, and Brandon Grace today shot a 62. Lowest score ever recorded at a major. Saskatchewan Roughriders now. 2.5 to go. Down by the same amount they were at halftime. Kevin Glenn, try as he might, and the Riders valiantly fought back in that third quarter, really owned the third quarter, and early into the fourth. Calgary does that, though. That's why this team has been so indomitable here in this stadium. 11 in a row at home. Last loss October 3rd, 2015 at McMahon against Saskatchewan. Kari Grant.
That's Antwain Grant.
Or Antwain Grant.
The other Grant.
The other Grant. Antwain out of Western Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a guy the Riders are very high on. Pressed into service early this season.
Marshall ripped down. So 2 minutes to go. Again, 11 wins at home. Wasn't against Saskatchewan that October 3rd. Again, the Saskatchewan streak here is not a streak to be envious of. They've lost 8 in a row to the Stamps, 9 in a row here at McMahon. Looks like it could be 10 in a row. Last win August 1st, 2009, and over the top for Antwain Grant again.
Well, Charleston Hughes has been quiet here in the second half after a monstrous opening 30 minutes, but he got a fantastic jump on this play.
3 sacks and a pressure there, and bone cruncher on Kevin Glenn once more. Spoils the night, of course, of Kevin Glenn reaching that milestone. 50,000 yards. He was just on the turf way too much tonight. 5 sacks all in the first half. They did a good job protecting him. Here goes Finch once more. Talked about that streak at home. Has been a sweet place for these Stampeders. We're going to go to 3-1-1.
There you see the home records dating back to 2013. Never more than 2 home losses in a season. They haven't lost to Saskatchewan here at McMahon Stadium since 2009 in a regular season game. The Riders have had a couple of playoff victories over the Stamps in that time, however.
West Final in 2010 and 2013, but not in the regular season. And Jerome Messam continues to rack up the yardage. The other thing is, when the Stamps lose a game, they are Team Boomerang. They bounce right back and get a W. Span of more than 5 years now. 92 games now, but the Stamps have not lost consecutive games, 2 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable, and truly the hallmark of a winning team. Everybody's going to have their ups and downs, but it's all about how you handle the ups and downs, how you rebound from those losses.
Messam looked like he was going to be trapped. Dave Dickinson, last year's coach of the year in his first year as head coach. That record goes back a long way. Look at that. Toronto back in 1946, Edmonton in 82. What a stretch.
No, and not just breaking the old record by a little bit either.
A lot.
And this is very impressive. Just never letting one loss turn into a streak.
As much as they love all that, though, the Stamps, who Cup champions in 2014, thought they had it last November in Toronto. And this guy, the big guy, chasing, coveting a ring.
Yeah, I know for Jerome Messam and Jerome Messam fans, people look back and wonder what might have been had they given him the ball in a short yardage situation. You know, I still maintain there was nothing wrong with the call that they made, and everybody in the stadium expected Messam to get the ball. It wasn't a trick play they ran. It was a play with which they had a lot of success during the year in short yardage situations.
Messam has 134 yards on the night. That's likely going to be the last time he touches the ball here tonight. 6 shy rather of his career high, but boy, this erases some bad memories of last week, does it not?
It sure does. I mean, it goes along with what we've said about the team and how they've responded to adversity. Jerome Messam has responded from a tough game and a frustrating situation for him personally last week with his best game of the season by far.
Best game in quite some time. He was ejected last week. The Stamps were dejected after a loss in Montreal. They turn it around here tonight. Duron Carter steps out. Time to hand out our Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Very easy to give it to Jerome Messam, but this guy set the tone tonight.
Yeah, he certainly did, coming back from injury, and this is one of the guys the Calgary Stampeders look at to be a leader. They dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And this guy representing the defensive line, Charleston Hughes, was an absolute monster throughout this game. 3 quarterback sacks in the first half, 3 pressures. Made life miserable for Kevin Glenn, particularly in that opening 30, and helped the Stampeders open up that 17-point lead. Charleston Hughes is the Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
Brandon Bridge comes in. Mississauga quarterback, like Andrew Buckley. Bridge comes in to clean up here tonight. Here's Charleston in fine form this week. And he's talking, usually he's on form. And has been on form. Bridge. Pair of completions here in the late going. Naaman Roosevelt right at the first down marker. Brandon Bridge was pressed into action in his first season in the Canadian Football League. Got into the game in his first game. The Montreal Alouettes. Ended up here, of course. And will learn a lot underneath Kevin Glenn.
Yeah, he and Kevin Glenn had a terrific relationship during their time together in Montreal at the start of last season. Great veteran who's been around and seen it all and relishes the role of mentoring these young quarterbacks.
This will do it. 17 points, the magic number for Calgary. They had a 17-point lead at the half. Almost erased in the second. Got it back to 17, and Charleston had the hat trick.
He sure did. Charleston Hughes in that defensive line, outstanding in the opening 30. Jerome Messam and his offensive line, equally terrific in the first half. Getting things done, setting the tone, putting the Stampeders on their way to a big bounce-back win.
Week 5 concludes on Monday in Toronto. The Red Blacks and the Argos. Charleston has a big night, so do the Stamps. Saskatchewan Roughriders now have lost 10 in a row at McMahon and 9 in a row to the Stampeders. When will that streak end? Final tonight, 27-10. Good night, everybody, from Calgary, where the Stampeders roll. Sports Center, spinning your way now.